Welcome back to another episode of Salesy. Clearly, I am excited to be here and excited to serve you. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to give you an opportunity to work with me further. Scale to 5K is my signature group program that helps entrepreneurs like you start hitting consistent 5K months and grow their online business. We focus on the foundations of business, so offers, pricings, products, marketing, sales, how to sign clients, how to raise your prices, and all of those things. This framework has graduated over 100 students in the last 4 years and has actually built my own business to multiple six figures in the first calendar year, and even building these massive launches that you saw this year and last year. If you are someone who you know this is the next step for you and you are ready to see the sales page and apply to the program, go ahead and click into the show notes. It's always linked down there. And ready or not, we're heading into the next episode. I am standing outside in the cold on the corner calling my dad on his birthday saying, "Hey Dad, I'm not going to make it home tonight because someone called out and I have to work." The year is 2018, and guess what? It's my fucking dad's birthday, and even though I bought the cake, it's in the fridge at work, and I am pretty pissed I have to work. If this wasn't foreshadowing for how the next 11 months went in management, looking back, it is. And I can tell you 100% that I do not miss that piece of it. I do not miss handing over my life for a promotion. But we're going to talk about it anyways, because today's my dad's birthday, and it's been 6 years in the making, and I honestly do not have to be anywhere besides celebrating with my dad. And it's the best feeling. When I graduated in 2017 from college with my bachelor's in business management, I entered a pretty bad market. And literally taking an interview anywhere for a marketing job because I did not want to work in management. This was kind of a last resort when they came to me and said, "Hey, we're going to send you to Briargate." I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go through training. I went through training. I realized that I'm about to give over my life and hoped and prayed that it wasn't like this. I can confidently say in the 11 months that I worked in management, there were few days that I didn't fucking hate my job. And it was one of those things where now we talk about hustling to relax later, but it was truly this, they put it on a platter and I was eating the cake like it was fucking delicious. Because upward mobility meant more money, right? And more money meant more freedom. And if I just suffered in that moment, I was going to make more money. I was going to be a manager. I was going to have my own store. It was going to be something that was fed to me back when I was at freaking Crazy Church selling t-shirts about internal growth in the company. But what I can say 6 years out, lots of therapy and unpacking why I was able to work the way that I did, is that there is no amount of money in this world. There is no money in this world worth missing a family member's birthday. And it's interesting because I've always had this feeling after losing my brother, and when I turned 26 a couple years ago, if y'all remember it, I turned 26, my engagement broke off, and then I ended up walking away from my business, all because of my mental health, interesting enough. But there's a larger conversation about like time is limited, and it doesn't feel limited until you lose someone too soon. I didn't think I was going to cry, but I might. I'm probably going to. I have two dads, and losing one this last year was a really big wake-up call about my parents are getting older. And my dad is older than my mom, so I've always known he'll probably go first. But losing my stepdad made me realize that, like, there is no money on this earth that is worth missing out on your family. And family doesn't have to be, your blood relatives. There's so many situations that people talk about not being close with their family, and I can't relate because of the traumatic loss that I've had, that sometimes I feel like we just suck it up and we're together because we're together. But my dad will have limited birthdays. Your dad will have limited birthdays. Your mom will. Your kids, like the birthdays you have with your kids, because eventually you die. Like, time is such a limited resource. And I felt like trading time so that I could have this upward mobility was worth it. And in the end, there's nothing that is worth more than that. And I feel like I've gone through this cycle as a business owner. It happened in Europe. In case you didn't know, I went to Europe, as my friends like to say, where you start a business because you're sick of it, right? I started my business because for 11 months, the common saying was, I'm at work, I'm standing outside on the phone, shivering in the snow, telling my dad that we're not going to be able to do his birthday cake, and he's waiting for me to come home, and I'm pretty sure that cake ended up rotting in the fridge. I worked on my own birthday, was late to my own birthday dinner. I missed so many moments in life because of work, because of that narrative of upward mobility and hustle now so that you have a benefit later. And it's just like there is not enough money on this earth, but I feel like doing business and supporting people in business has taught me that there are a few things that you truly have to figure out on your own. And what I see so fucking often is people enjoying the struggle over actually understanding that they could do it in a more efficient manner if they wanted to. They could make significant more money if they wanted to. And it comes back to those moments where it was like, are you holding your breath for a moment that on paper makes sense for your business, your career, or whatever, and in reality you feel like you're missing out on so much more? Or are you someone who you are kind of sick of that and you're moving in that direction of like, how do I do this better? Because what I discovered in Europe and what I didn't really talk about is I realized that like I could build this massive ass business, and I could also burn out from building that business. I could hustle now, end of my 20s, I turned 30 in May, and then enjoy my 30s, or I could continue building it. But the thing about limited time though is that like someday is not on a calendar, and being present and looking back and being able to use the marker that is my dad's birthday of 5 years ago, where was I? 4 years ago, where was I? 3 years ago, where was I? 2 years ago, where was I? 1 year ago, where was I? What did life look like? Being able to use those markers, it's also like, do I actually fucking want that? Standing in the snow, calling my dad, even recently being in the library drop-off and getting a call from my brother, do I want to, in those moments, be like, I need to work? Or am I building something that in those moments I can say, I'm going to take a moment off? In those moments I can say, Wednesday night, I'm not doing anything because it's my dad's birthday. And even though we're going to do the same thing we always do, get Korean food, have a cake, him and my brother are going to watch a movie, that's exactly where I want to be. And the more I think about this, and the more I talk about this with my clients, and the more I talk about 2025 and what's happening, and people I sit down with, and they openly admit the same fear of, I have experienced success at some point, and now I'm wondering, what now? It's the same thing I tell people. You get to enjoy your life. As Americans, we like to live to work, not work to live. And the Europeans like to work to live, unless you're a fucking Italian. Then I don't know if you've ever worked a day in your life. That's a joke. But building something over time also gives you more space. Instead of focusing on this year I'm going to do X, what is the 5-year goal? What is the 10-year goal? Where were you 5 years ago, and what does that look like now? How can you take tiny steps to continually sustainably build something that you want? But as a founder, as a CEO, what roles are you playing that you don't need to play anymore? And doesn't mean you need to get a team of fucking 100 people. No. Doesn't mean you need to work 80 hours a week. Absolutely not. Do some of you who work 80 hours a week flaunt about how you could do your business in 20, need to shut the fuck up and actually realize you couldn't do it? Probably. But that's the thing. And that moment is forever burned in my brain, watching the cake rot, being so excited, because I don't think 2017, I think I worked on my dad's birthday too. And like previously I'd worked on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like I've given up so many holidays to work because of the ski industry. Yeah, because in 2016 I didn't come home for my dad's birthday because I couldn't, because we were in a blackout period. Like, it's those types of moments. And that's where it's like, when you come to business and you think about all these things you want to achieve, instead of just focusing on the achievement, focus on like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Is this something I need to do this year? Or is this something I work on for the next 5 years? Am I trading time to scale my business but not being efficient with it and giving up the things that matter? Those are just some things to think about, some things I've been thinking about. I want to end this on kind of discipline and contentment. Contentment in a relationship has typically been negative, right? Contentment, complacement, it's the C's, right? It's also like a see you next Tuesday. Y'all get my joke? No. But contentment is also enjoying exactly where you're at and being content and knowing that things are working and knowing that you're doing it is a part of having discipline. Ryan Holiday says it best when not doing what you're supposed to do or doing too much and not doing it in a moderate pace is both being undisciplined. And while I know 75 hard is popular, I know that concept, David Goggins, all of those people, I would argue that people who do things in extreme moderations or not at all are just as undisciplined. And I think having true discipline too is putting first things first. And as business owners, the majority of people that I talk to who were unhappy in their jobs, unhappy in their pay, and wanted to spend more time with their family are a lot of people who also have traded that for a business they don't even enjoy. And I wish somebody would have talked about it when I walked away in 2021. I wish I wouldn't have felt like one of the first people. I wish I would have taken a moment and taken a breather and been like, how can I fix this? What do I actually want? And what does that look like? Because the amount of people I've talked to who've made extraordinary amounts of money have the same questions. Do I continue to grow? Do I just hang out? And if it was me, which it's still kind of me, I would just hang out. Enjoy the business you built, because at the end of the day, there is nothing that's guaranteed in life, and time is one of those things. And there are so many people right now who think that if they just hustle it now, they're going to reap the reward. And it's like, how can we consistently put an effort in that doesn't take away from your family, from your kids, from your loved ones, from your hobbies, from being outside? What does that look like? Because that's the sustainable business industry I want to be inside of. So, hope y'all have a great day. I'm going to have a great day. I love my dad's birthday. I love my family's birthday. As always, it was good to talk to you on Salesy, and I will see you in the next episode. If you have loved today's episode, make sure that you rate and review the Salesy podcast on whatever your preferred platform is. Rating and reviews does help us push out to more people, get more listeners, and be able to serve you deeper. If you haven't, go ahead and check out the show notes. We have everything linked down there. And if you are listening to this episode and you love it, go ahead and screenshot it, share it on Instagram, and tag me. Before we leave today, I want to remind you that Scale to 5K is still open for enrollment. This is a signature group program focusing on laying your business foundations, helping you hit 5K cash months consistently, so over 6 and 12 months, and being able to build your online business. This has graduated over 100 students, and this framework is near and dear to my heart because it actually helped me make my own first 5K in my business and helped me rebuild my business after leaving last year. So if you are called and ready, go ahead, click down into the show notes. The sales page is linked down there, and I will see you on another episode of Salesy.